years?
Oh, it's a lot. I just can't tell you specifically. But
you can't tell?
I think I've been...
But has it been, say, 6, 10 years?
Oh, yes, at least 5, 6 going.
5, 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
At what point did you decide this is what you want to do?
Oh, I think I always say that this is... this work is like the way pastors are called to serve. That's my personal opinion. We are called to serve the nation. So it will just be still on you. Look, go do this. At least you can help people have some kind of relief when they lose a loved one.
Okay.
So it's just a call to come to you. In fact, there are other opportunities you could have gone into. You can sell, you can do anything, but you see, this is a call. It's a calling. That's how come people don't hear about it. We keep quiet with everything that happens. Okay. It's only when we are pushed to the wall, then we are forced to bite.
Okay. But how was it communicating this call, like you put it, to your family members? At the initial stages, did you have their full support?
I don't see... It's only in Ghana people think that this work is like... you should have a support. Why would you want to have a support to do a job? It's a decision by individual. I mean, I chose to do this. It's me and my family. I'm going to raise up a family, and I expect that at least this is what is going to bring me relief and comfort and probably have a better family. Why not?
But I'm sure you agree there are instances where people want to become lawyers, people want to be teachers, and their parents are saying, no, you need to be a journalist. I want you to be this. And that is the angle I am speaking from.
I know, but let me tell a story. My son, last time he came to me and told me, look, Daddy, I want to do 2 works. I said, what? He said, I want to be a pilot and a pastor. I said, why would you want to be a pastor? I said, because of the collection. Okay. Because there's money. Don't you see there's a lot of money when they contribute at church? I said, wow. So it's just a decision. If I want to be, why would I want to be a pastor? Why would I want to be an engineer or a lawyer? This is a profession that pays somehow and pays somewhere, not in Africa. Okay. But in the ideal situation, in other jurisdiction, it's a serious profession. Okay.
I'll come back to you shortly. Let me come to Mercy now. Mercy, tell us about your experience, I mean your daily experience as a morgue attendant.
Okay. What I will say is, I'm proud of the work that I'm doing, because it's not everybody who can do the job that I'm doing, especially a female. You know about the job that we are doing. If you haven't seen anything cry, you see a little experience. If maybe your friend or your relative pass away, you know the pain that you feel for the person. We too feel the same pain. But it's our job. You come to work in the morning, you close in the evening and go. Our main reason is we like the job that we are doing, but the government should do something about it.
Okay, which we will come to, but I want you to talk us through your daily routine. So you wake up in the morning, at what time do you get to work, and what do you do at the workplace?
Okay, for what I'll say now, I'm an attendant.
Okay.
As an attendant, if you go to work, you have to make sure that you go to ward rounds. From ward rounds, you bring the bodies to the code room. After that, if the relative come and they come and settle, they come and pay for the embalmment, you embalm the body and you put the body at a safety place so that if the relative come, there will no any trouble or there will not be any problem. Yeah.
Okay. So in the community that you live, is everybody aware that this is what you do?
Yes.
Okay. And how do they relate to you?
Oh, a lot of friends don't want to eat with me because they see that I touch dead bodies. Even the female, sometimes it's very hardly. Some of the policemen cry if they come around, they say, hey, I can't marry you. A lady will do this job. You touch dead bodies. No. Because I remember the first day I said I want to do this work. My mother gets hungry. My father too the same. Starting talking. Even my mother don't talk to me like 2 years before he's used to. Because she has force and I don't stop the work. So she don't know what to do again. And I call my mother friends that I know that
They can help you speak
yes.
to her.
And I express myself to them, and they call my mother and talk to my mother that she should leave me. But now my mother is used to it. But if there is any program and I go, my relative, hey, this woman is the one working at the morgue, then they be pointing fingers, but I don't look at that and I don't buy that because everybody in his or her decision.
Okay. Has it affected, I mean, you talk about people who say they can't marry you because of the kind of work you do, but has it affected your relationship life in any way?
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It doesn't affect it at all.
Are you single or you're dating?
I'm dating.
Okay. And your boyfriend doesn't have any problems?
No.
Okay. You had her.
Yes,
those are her
yeah.
daily challenges.
Yes.
What is your daily routine like? I think it's something.
I think daily routine, not as me alone, for every attendant in Ghana, is that once you report to work, you have work to do. There's always work to do at the morgue. First of all, you see dead bodies at the ward. Some of them would have been brought from home. So there is no rest. You have to go to the ward, pick all the bodies, deposit them in the morgue, bath the bodies because many of them would have messed up themselves, clean all the pampers, remove all the feces and stuff, bath the body, clean it, put it on the troller or on the floor if there are no trollers. Normally, the mortuary is not a clean place. It is messy with blood and cloth and feces and stuff, so you have work to do. After that, it depends on whether we have to do PM or the families haven't, because normally when families will have to give consent for you to embalm the body. So when consent is given with whatever arrangement they have with the police, that has been sorted out, then you, the mortuary attendant, now will have to start embalming the body. What is embalming? People have been asking me. Embalming is just infusing chemicals into the human remains to preserve that body from temporary decay. That is what it means. So whatever we do there is embalming. That is how come if you go to all the mortuary, they are charging us with embalming fees. It means that somebody is preserving the body through that process. Now, if you finish embalming, it doesn't end there. You know, it's a dead human being. It doesn't move. So you have to do all the movement from which point to which point to the refrigerator. The same thing daily. If you go, let's say a body is gone out, you have to do replacement. Now, this replacement you do every day. Sometimes you embalm a body. In the process, you have to find out whether the embalmed body, the body you have embalmed, is actually good, in good shape, or in good state. Because you have to constantly review. We do we call something review. You have to constantly review to correct the defects, because there will be defects sometimes. You embalm a body, you go and it's still soft. It does not, the chemicals didn't go well. You have to go back. Sometimes some places have the veins are, there's a clot, so it's not able to get to where it's supposed to embalm the body properly. We do this every day. There is always work. In fact, once you get to the mortuary, you can't say there's no work. There will be work of either checking the old ones that you have put in. There will be work of either bring new ones that you are supposed to embalm. There will be every day before you leave, there are new bodies that you have to come and start with. Okay.
So on a daily basis, how many bodies do you work on, for instance?
Well, it's difficult to tell. You know, averagely depends. It depends on the hospital, and it depends.
Okay, but averagely, how many?
Oh, it depends. When people are dying, sometimes, assuming accident happened today. For instance, let me give you one practical example. 2 years ago, we heard of a metro bus accident at Kintapo Road, where tomatoes,
yes, I remember,
about 63 bodies were deposited at the Kintapo district hospital. It was only one man at that time, Isa. He called me. I left Kintapo about 10 minutes and told me, boss, there are about 63 bodies, disfigured bodies. It's unbearable. He couldn't do anything. He was confused. And it's not the ordinary dead you see. It's a mess up dead. So it depends. As for the mortuary, you can't say today 2, tomorrow. Today you can have 10 because of something. People are dead. Tomorrow you can have 3. Tomorrow you can have 5. Another day you have a mass accident somewhere. Another day, I'm robber. Another. So you can't say today you do 2 or 1.
I'll come back to talk about the long hours. I mean, you complained in the statement that you work for long hours. We would want to appreciate that. Let me come back to Mercy. Do you feel that you have all the logistics, all the equipment you need to work at your place?
No, because anytime we go to executive meeting, the way my other colleagues give their opinions mean that they are suffering. If you like, you can visit some of the mortuaries and see.
What are some of the things that you need to work with that are not available?
Especially the needle that they use to embalm the body. And we need something like jacket to cover all over ourselves, because some of the bodies are infectious body. You breathe in and everything. And me, for instance, what I would say is we need a face mask and all kind of things, because the embalming, if you check about the family, the medicine we use for embalming is very risky to the human being. If you breathe in, it can give you throat cancer. It can give you eye blindness. It can even, you can't breathe well, your lungs. If you go home and you sleep, the way you feel, you see, you having bad.
It will give you respiratory infection.
You can even goggle it and see the infection of the embalming.
So you don't have all these safety gears to work with. The working gears are non-existent.
No.
I'll come to your point. If you go to, I've seen that some private mortuaries, some people have opened their private mortuaries and things. If you go there and you see the way they are well dressed to do the job, why governments don't give us those things to do the job for our safety? You put myself in your shoe, or put my other colleague here, yourself in your shoe. If it were you, you need things to at least every year we have to go to medical checkup. Because we are human beings. We breathe all those things inside our bodies. You don't know. Even as I'm saying, if you go to their houses, some of the other colleagues are very sick. They're having tuberculosis and all kind of
because
disease.
of the hazards.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. I realized you wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to say that my latest check on formaldehyde or formalin, the chemical that she talked about. That is what we use in preserving the bodies at the various mortuaries. That chemicals has got so many long-term effects. In fact, it is because we don't see it happening now, so we think we are okay, but it has a long-term effect. It has been tagged as a human carcinogen. It means that it has the capacity
to cause cancer,
to accelerate it or spread it quicker. And if you go rather and go to U.S. Department of Labor, they have given a warning that because those who work in the funeral industry are a higher risk of getting so many forms of cancer from that particular chemical. One of them is a brain cancer. Another one is the leukemia cancer. Another one is your bone cancer and tissue cancer. So it tells you, apart from the ordinary irritation and other stuff, it's likely to kill you in the long run. And that is what we are living in Ghana, especially because our environment do not respect protecting the worker. In other jurisdictions, they do protect. Even those who protect, they have said that, even they cannot avoid it. They can only reduce the effect. But here is at a higher rate, because nobody is in charge of our various facilities. So it's like they are only interested in go and pay the client to go and pay. You want Wellington boot to even put on is a fight. I have seen practically where somebody's Wellington boot, the under is damaged. Then he went to the administrator and said, look, my Wellington boot is, I can't step in the cloth in the mortuary, so buy me. And he said, Wellington boot is not at the store. Immediately they say auditors are coming. When they came, they went to buy new stuff for the auditors, leaving the mortuary attendant. It means for him, he can die. But to the auditor, he's supposed to be protected.
So I mean, obviously the challenges are so many.
There are many.
There are too many. One of the things you talked about was the number of hours you spend at the job.
I can tell you.
Why is it that you spend so much time?
Yes.
Is it about numbers, or it's just that you are
let me say,
overburdened with a lot of responsibilities?
Let me say it's about numbers. Let me be frank, maybe. It's about numbers. For instance, if you have a mortuary with one person, a whole facility, one person.
One person or two person.
I mean, who will do the job? Or two people. And look at the body. When you are dead, they weight doubles. Because you don't have space, you don't have air again. So the whole thing is there, and the weight doubles. Can one person actually be moving bodies, putting the body in the leave the body into the refrigerator is tough? So you have to work, and people are working. And where people are even many, it is only some few hospitals that are doing the right thing. All other ones, same. There's a guy who went to apply for a leave because he has worked about 12 years. He has not been given this. Besides, Mochiba doesn't call leave. What is a Mochima leave? He's not a Ghanaian worker.
Wow.
Well, what is a Mochima leave? Somebody has worked 24 years. No single leave. He's been prevented. It's not that he doesn't want to go. He's been prohibited with their own call. Public holiday, he has to be there because people will still be drawn at the sea. There will be accidents. People will drink and they will die. I'm telling you, that's reality.
Well, on a I don't know whether to call it on a lighter note. Is that your prayer every day? Because
No,
that is the perception
that
out
is
there.
what you should
that
know
when
that.
people
That's
don't
what people
die,
think,
you don't
but
have a job to
it's
do.
a
No,
lie.
let me tell you the truth. Nobody in the world is happy that people die and people are crying in front of you, unless you represent the Antichrist. We have another area, emotional trauma. Look at it. People crying, holding you. You see accident victims of different magnitude. Why would you be happy? It's not a prayer, but these are reality. We are only running away from reality. But it's time we face it. People will die.
Okay.
I'm not the initiator of death.
But death is inevitable.
Good.
But, so you report in the morning.
Yeah.
And what time do you close?
Oh, sometimes you just have a break before you realize your body about night, anytime, depending on where you work.
Okay.
Some of the hospitals have got stretchers because of good leadership probably at that hospital. Some don't have stretchers at all. Once you are a mortuary attendant, you are there. In the night, hey, you have to wake up. If you're on top of your wife, you have to leave her.
Oh.
Sorry, but that is it.
That's not good for TV.
Exactly. And so, yes, if it's not good for TV, I apologize.
Okay.
Now, if whatever you are doing, and unfortunately, if you don't go the next day, you are given a query. Why didn't you report? I was in one part of the north. I won't mention the name. Then the mortuary attendant sent me to the administrator and said, this is their general secretary. The man said, well, that's good. Now you have come, is good. Then I asked him, how much do you pay your, he said 150 Ghana. Public facility. Then said, I should tell them, when they call them at night, they don't come. I said, wow. So you call them at night. Do you motivate them to come in the night? Or see, they have not written to him that they want allowance. I said, okay. So if you call him and he refuses to come, don't blame him. You are giving a query later because he didn't come one day. When he comes 10 days, you won't talk. The day he is not able to come, he has a query later. I think it's a bad labor practice. That's all. It's lack of leadership. That's what we are having.
Merci.
But to me, my opinion is that they have to give the mortuary workers overtime. If I'll put my seniors, like the doctors like this, they even give them breakfast and all kind of things. But we will get nothing. And I'm pleading to the government once again, because I remember the first day he collected the Bible and swear that he would take care of his country and take care of his people. We, the mortuary workers, too, we are his people. He should think of us. The job that we are doing is not easy as it seems. Someone will work, and at the end of the month, the person will be paid 200, 150, 300. Abba.
Is that how much you take?
Some people,
as salary?
We don't want to go into salaries. When I want to go into salaries,
300 cedis a
when I
month.
want to go into salaries,
A lot, if you go to the villages, 300 and 200, they always talk about it.
Let me give you what agitated us to even form the union. People were being paid below minimum wage in government institutions. That is what agitated some of us to lead the leadership in liberating our people. Because you go to hospital...
before you continue, how many are you in total?
Oh, it's a whole Ghana. But we are not many because, you know, as I said, they are not being employed many.
Okay. But what number, what official figure can you give us?
I can give you average. We are below 1,000 though.
Okay.
But right. I can't be specific.
All right. You can go ahead.
So some of us, we see when we meet, thought, Charlie, I'm being paid. This is below even the minimum wage in the government hospital. This is not fair. What do? We don't have math. We don't have math. There's nobody representing us. If anybody thinks that he's represented, should come and tell you that he has represented mortuary workers in this country. No.
In mortuary workers, the salary is too low.
So that is what agitated. And looking at the conditions.
That's the main problem. You should have done something about it. You see? Because even the head, if I told you, my brother, you can even go rounds and ask some people. The salary is too low. The work that we are doing is not easy.
And it is
and to think about the hazards that you talked about.
Yes.
They don't have protective gears. They are working at the peril of their health, you know. And at the end of the day, the amounts that they are giving is so paltry. I think it's something that we need to really talk about and open more conversations about as a country. They provide very essential, services to us, you know. Our relatives pass on, we go to them, and they are always there to actually support. Imagine that they decide to carry through their threats and embark on the strike on Tuesday. You can imagine what will happen at the various hospitals that we have. Who will be attending to the loved ones that are no more? I think it's something that we really need to look at. But let me come to Jordan. For how long have you been pushing this, and why did you decide that this time we want to embark on strike?
In fact, we started pushing this last year, somewhere September, October. We wrote a letter to the minister to formally...
Ministry of Finance or Health?
Ministry of Health.
Okay.
To formally, introduce our union to him, and then to put before him our grievances. He gave the letter to, I think he gave the letter to the Deputy Minister, who is Honorable Tina Mensah, and the team. At that meeting, I remember, we had a registrar of Midwifery Council representing, director of HR. In fact, the team of Ministry of Health, they came, they met us. After we spoke and put before them our grievances. In fact, the minister made some interesting comments which I appreciate. He said, look, these are concerns that are genuine. For all this while, nobody has championed the cause of church mortuary workers in this country. They don't have any recourse in their department or agency. And for that matter, we should put it into proposal immediately and present to the ministry. We did that. After that, we have been pushing in June, having realized that they are not tackling the issue. We wrote a letter to the Minister of Health again, telling him that we think that our concerns have not been given any due attention. For that matter, if by 21st of June, nothing is properly done or heard, they will assume that he does not care about the mortuary workers, and therefore we advise ourselves. Then we copied to the National Labour Commission. Fortunately, the National Labour Commission wrote to him, giving him 7 working days to appraise the commission on how he is solving the issues concerning the mortuary workers. Immediately, because they had a letter from the National Labour Commission, they wrote to us to have a meeting on the 12th of June. We went to that meeting. He told us, oh, he was been busy, he's been busy. I think he should have delegated though, that's my opinion. But he promised at that meeting that he was going to handle it within a month, within 1 month, because he has to present something at Parliament. That is the time when people were dying at Commercial Academy. Remember?
Yes.
He has to give a report, he has been invited, and that he has to reopen the Legon Hospital. So he gave us those reasons, and that we should give him a month. He would have enough time to handle the issues. We agreed. We are law-abiding citizens, and we think that if the leadership of ministry has given you word, we should take it. We trusted them. So we left. After June, we didn't hear anything. July, we didn't hear anything. August, we didn't hear anything. September, we wrote to him. On the 4th of September, we wrote a letter telling him that we have realized that this is intentional. He doesn't want to tackle our issues, not even a communication. We are reminding him that we have not forgotten, and that if by 18th of September, nothing is still done, we will still advise ourselves. We didn't hear anything. Then the National Labour Commission wrote again to the minister and copied us, and copied Director General Ghana Health Service, copied National Security, Minister of Security, and copied Minister for Employment and Labour. All the letters and the foreign, we copied all these people. And the National Commission, National Labour Commission also does the copying. So they give us a copy. We have a copy of all these letters. And they told him that they are still giving him 7 days to appraise the commission on how he has addressed the issues before it. We didn't hear anything again. So in October, we still wrote a letter to the minister telling him that we have realized now that these are the issues. So we will, if by October, there's a date I quoted, we don't hear anything, then the next letter he will have will be our intention to strike. We have stated it all. We have given about 3 warnings on the intentions. So this is not the first time we are doing it.
Okay.
But they didn't mind the intentions. They thought we were joking. So we give him at least a maximum of 1 month, giving him up to, I think, 8th of November. That if by 8th of November, we don't have any serious communication from you, telling us or indicating us how you are solving our issue, then this is a total neglect. Therefore, it has been proven enough that you don't want to even tackle the issues at all. Okay. The next communication will be a strike action. Okay.
So now I appreciate, how far you have come in terms of pushing for things to be done for you. I know that finally you've received some response from the ministry.
Exactly.
And so tomorrow you'll be having a meeting with the minister.
Exactly.
What are your expectations?
Our expectations are clear. Like I've always been talking to other media houses. What I'm saying is that you have a proposal before you. You have a team of experts. You know what you should have done. If you refuse to do it, and you are giving us a letter in 2 days to appear before you, if you give us a promise which does not tackle the issues, we think it is just a promise as usual, and won't take it serious. But if it tackles the issues, I have done this, I have done this, this I cannot do now, this we will refer this, we will do this, we will do this. These are the things we need now. Within 1 day or 2 days, we'll do this, we are doing this, we have done this. It will reflect in this day. Once we agree, everybody will be safe. Otherwise, if they still inviting us, because per what I heard yesterday on news, is that I heard the PRO spoke, that we should come. Initially, when they invited, they said he is a new person, that the old PRO is gone. He didn't have an idea what is happening. So he is new. Now he came out to say that, now we are inviting the mortuary workers to come. We know they have to come. Some of the issues are issues of and some of them, so we should come to listen to our grievances. You want to build a foundation, you want to start digging foundation by listening to our grievances again. After we have given you a proposal almost a year. So if that is the intention they have for us to come there to tell us, to come and tell them again our grievances, then we are sorry. I think we are going back. And we don't intend to go back in this. We are serious. We are people who are serious. We have seen it all.
Okay. All right. But I'll come back to you again. Let me come to Mercy. Initially, you were telling me how sympathetic you are. Those who work at the morgue, how sometimes emotional you get when you realize that lives have been lost and you would have to work on them and all of that. You have decided that because of this reason, that reason, on Tuesday, you are going to lay down your tools. This is a profession you love so much. Why are you abandoning duty? When, of course, you can work and push things to be done at the same time.
It's not as if I want to abandon the job that I'm doing. I'm abandoning the duty, but I think it's unfair. and it's too much. Because every day we be talking about it and nobody's responding, nobody's hearing us. So if it were you, what will you do? I'm not talking about only me, but all the workers. Every day, everybody is complaining. And if you have a workers that is complaining, they are doing the job, that they are not happy about their job, how do you expect your work to move
improve,
on?
Yeah. Let's talk about the low pay. How has it affected yourself and your colleagues? I mean, you talk about some taking as low as 300 cedis a month.
Yes. It affects a lot. A lot, because you imagine they are paying you 200 or 300 for a month. You have 3 children or you have 2 children. You have a wife. You are in a rented house. How will you survive? So if you don't force and add this undertaking work to it, then you will not get anything at the end of, because even if the undertaking work, if somebody don't come and call you, oh, Madam Mercy, please come and dress for my dead body for me, what will you get? At the end of the month, your salary is, you guys, even if you are going for loan and you are paying 200 or 300, the bank can give you a maximum money that you can use it to do something, because you are paying 300 or 200. So what would they use it to do? Why would they give you maybe something you want, maybe 500 to buy a piece of land, and you are paying 200? I can't give, if me, I'm a bank, I can't give you 5,000 to buy land because you are paying 200. I'll check your pay and give you money that I can give. And our salary is very less, because I know a lot of people who have gone to retirement that they don't have a piece of land. If you were to put their head,
it's a problem.
That's why we said we'll go on strike, because it's on pity that somebody who is on casual for 25 years, 20 years, 15 years on casual. What's the meaning of casual?
Okay, so looking at, I mean, the challenges that you have, would you say that this is something that you want to do for a very long time, this job? I mean, considering the fact that you love it.
Oh, as I would say, me, for instance, I'm used to the work. I'm used to the work. And I can't say that, but if God permits and I get chance to go outside, I'll do the same job that I'm doing, because in Ghana here, I think you can't survive with this work. If only you don't learn how to do this undertaking work, and you said you only work as an attendant, then you can't do anything.
The undertaking simply means that apart from working at the hospital, at the morgue, you would also help in dressing up the corpse.
Yes.
Okay, and I also understand that because of the low pay, you have a lot of your colleagues juggling the two at the same time. They work at the morgue and they also do the undertaking. Yes. Okay, Jordan, do you also do the undertaking?
No, Messi, you know, she's a lady. She loves to do undertaking. In fact, she started as an undertaker.
But we have men undertakers.
Exactly,
as well.
but I think she started as undertaker before coming in. So she does it. The reality, like you asked, is that if you are given such a remuneration, let's look at this scenario of the economic hardship we have in Ghana or the world, where our children will have to go to the same school like your children. We have to go to the same market and buy the same thing, working under such condition we are talking about, not just anywhere, but that particular condition, environment, and you are giving 150 Ghana cedis. Let me give you very practical. Last week, I was in the Volta region. For purposes of, I will keep that name. The owner pays them 150 Ghana cedis. It means 5 cedis a day. How much is the minimum wage now? It's about 9 cedis something. But he decided to give them 5 cedis a day. It is not that people are not coming. He's got, the fridges are full. But he decided to pay them that much. I went to him. And he told me that nothing can be done. he just left me when I was talking to him. Because he feels that once you own a job, you decide how much to pay a worker. He refused to give them anything they ask for, but he's making the money.
Okay.
So such an environment, what do you expect the person who is working to do? I mean, we have labor laws in this country.
Okay.
So if the laws are not being adhered to in the various government institutions, they shouldn't expect people who are outside to also.
And I perfectly agree that the laws indeed would have to work. And there is so much love for you from our viewers, especially those watching and those who are monitoring on social media. So this one from Joel Adama, it says, see how a mortuary worker, the man and the woman are articulate, intelligent guys. Much respect to you and your association. And this one from Yao Akwa Lati says, there is a guideline for public health units in hospitals in Ghana. And about the mortuary workers not in protective clothing, the only public health prosecutors in Ghana, that's the environmental health officers, should move into the hospitals to enforce that aspect of it in protecting public health. And I perfectly agree with your recommendation, Yao. And also, Eugene Adomako Teria says, these people are suffering. Much respect to them. They have to be fully resourced. And I perfectly agree. Pokuya Ejay says, I feel sorry for these workers. They have the poorest working condition, and the emotional trauma alone is enough to scare people from doing this job. The two have spoken well, and I pray they will be heard. This is an eye-opening discussion. Do repeat on your evening news bulletin. Maybe the leaders will have to hear it at that time. I will consider your option, Pokia. But those are some of the messages that have been coming through. Keep them coming. But lady and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I'm very proud of the sort of work you do.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that tomorrow's meeting will yield the sort of results that you're looking for. We'll also be monitoring whatever happens. We'll bring it to our viewers. That'll be it for Hard Talk. Coming up is Anita Kuyakufo with News Extra.
Merchandise is that special